Lee Anderson's bold warning to the left as Nigel Farage secures historic parliamentary victory. Lee Anderson, the Reform UK MP for Ashfield, issued a stern warning to the political establishment upon his and Nigel Farage's arrival at the House of Commons, stating, "The fox is in the henhouse." This remark underscores their intent to disrupt the traditional political order. Anderson, a former Conservative deputy chairman, defected to Reform UK in March 2024 and secured his seat in Ashfield during the July general election, marking the party's first parliamentary victory. Nigel Farage, leading Reform UK, also won his first parliamentary seat in Clacton, Essex, after 7 unsuccessful attempts. These victories signify a notable shift in British politics, with Reform UK aiming to challenge the traditional dominance of established parties. Farage has expressed intentions to build a mass national movement to contest Labour in future elections, indicating a strategic focus on expanding the party's influence. The presence of Anderson and Farage in Parliament represents a significant challenge to the status quo, as they seek to represent constituents who feel overlooked by mainstream parties. Their electoral success reflects a growing appetite for alternative political voices in the UK, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the British political landscape. Lee Anderson, a prominent member of Reform UK, issued a powerful warning to the political establishment. Upon entering Parliament alongside Nigel Farage, the party's leader, Anderson declared, "The fox is in the henhouse." This 9-word statement symbolizes their intent to challenge the traditional norms of British politics and disrupt the dominance of mainstream political parties. Lee Anderson, a former Conservative Party deputy chairman, joined Reform UK in March 2024 after expressing dissatisfaction with the trajectory of his former party. His defection was not just a symbolic gesture. It was the prelude to a significant victory. In July 2024, Anderson secured his seat in Ashfield, becoming the first MP to win a seat for Reform UK in the House of Commons. His victory marked the beginning of a new chapter for the party, which had struggled to gain parliamentary representation in the past. Nigel Farage, a seasoned politician and the driving force behind the Brexit movement, also made history. After 7 unsuccessful attempts to secure a parliamentary seat, Farage triumphed in Clacton, Essex, during the same election. His victory was a testament to his resilience and the growing appeal of Reform UK among voters disillusioned with traditional parties. Reform UK's growing momentum. The July general election was a watershed moment for Reform UK, as the party demonstrated its ability to resonate with a significant portion of the electorate. Under Farage's leadership, the party has positioned itself as a champion of the silent majority, advocating for policies that appeal to voters who feel alienated by the political elite. Farage and Anderson's victories underscore a broader shift in British politics. The success of Reform UK reflects a growing appetite for alternative voices in Parliament, particularly among voters who believe that the traditional parties, Conservatives and Labour alike, no longer represent their interests. This sentiment has been fueled by dissatisfaction with issues such as immigration, economic policies, and the perceived erosion of British sovereignty. The presence of Farage and Anderson in Parliament is a significant challenge to the status quo. Reform UK is determined to capitalize on its momentum and expand its influence. Farage has expressed ambitious plans to build a mass national movement capable of contesting Labour in future elections. By focusing on key constituencies where traditional parties have underperformed, Reform UK aims to establish itself as a viable alternative to the political establishment. For Lee Anderson, the journey from a Conservative deputy chairman to a Reform UK MP has been transformative. His defection highlighted the growing divisions within the Conservative Party, as many members and supporters grapple with its direction under current leadership. Anderson's victory in Ashfield, a former Labour stronghold that had turned Conservative in 2019, demonstrates his ability to connect with voters across traditional party lines. Nigel Farage, meanwhile, has positioned himself as a disruptor-in-chief. His long history of challenging the political establishment, from leading the UK Independence Party, UKIP, to spearheading the Brexit campaign, has cemented his reputation as a polarizing yet influential figure. Farage's entry into Parliament marks the culmination of decades of effort to reshape British politics. Despite its recent successes, Reform UK faces significant challenges. The party must navigate the complexities of parliamentary politics, where it is vastly outnumbered by established parties. Building a robust national organization and fielding strong candidates in future elections will be critical to sustaining its momentum. Moreover, the party's focus on immigration and cultural issues may limit its appeal to a broader audience. Critics argue that Reform UK risks alienating moderate voters with its hardline rhetoric. However, Farage and Anderson remain undeterred, emphasizing the need for a bold alternative to what they view as a complacent and out-of-touch political establishment. Lee Anderson's warning, "The fox is in the henhouse," is a metaphor for the disruptive potential of Reform UK. It signals their intent to challenge the ideological foundations of the political left and disrupt the Labour Party's dominance in traditional strongholds. By addressing the concerns of working-class voters who feel abandoned by Labour, Reform UK aims to carve out a substantial base of support. For the left, Anderson's warning is both a challenge and a call to action. Reform UK's rise highlights the vulnerabilities of established parties and the need for them to reconnect with their traditional voter base. The party's success in constituencies like Ashfield and Clacton demonstrates the appeal of its message to voters seeking change. The arrival of Farage and Anderson in Parliament represents a turning point in British politics. Their victories signal a shift in the political landscape, as Reform UK challenges the hegemony of established parties and seeks to redefine the priorities of the electorate. With their sights set on expanding their influence, Farage and Anderson are poised to become significant players in the next chapter of British political history. As Reform UK charts its course in Parliament, the political establishment must grapple with the implications of this new dynamic. The rise of Farage and Anderson is a reminder that British politics is not static, it evolves in response to the changing concerns of its citizens. Whether Reform UK can sustain its momentum and become a lasting force in British politics remains to be seen, but its impact on the political discourse is already undeniable.